professional, right? Yeah.
Hello guys, can you hear me? Yes, welcome aboard. My name is Hampus and I'm going to be a guide here for this 3-hour-long tour. We're going to start off with 2 hours on land and 1 hour in the water. You guys are warmly welcome.
Ich habe da was von einer 3 Stunden, wo er erzählt, 2 Stunden an Land und 1 Stunde im Wasser.
Oh. It's the final jump! Do you hear me well? Yeah, good. Okay, I'm kidding, the tour is 1 hour long. So as I said, warmly welcome. My name is Hampus and I'm going to be a guide here. Right now we are riding with this vehicle named Estelle. And Estelle, she's a quite heavy lady. She weighs around 10 tons without passengers. And now with the captain on board, she weighs around 15. We are going to talk in the terms starboard and port side, because we're actually sitting in a boat. So we have starboard side and then we have port side. I'll just say hi to our Swedish guest, then I'll come back to you guys in English. Och hur många svenskar har jag ombord idag? Ni är rätt många, kul. Mitt namn är Hampus Malmgren, men ni får gärna kalla mig för Tjernobyl, för att jag har så skön utstrålning. Tack så mycket! Vi kommer att prata i termerna styrbord och babord, för vi sitter ändå i en båt. Så vi har styrbordssida och sen har vi babordssida. Jag blev så besviken när jag började jobba här. Jag trodde barbord var något helt annat. Den man beställer här, det är en kallsup och en örfil. Something else that's very fun during this tour, apart from listening to me, is to watch everybody's reaction as we pass them by. Everybody is smiling, waving and flirting with this bus. Like we have, I don't know, Alexander Skarsgård sitting here behind the wheel. But this is someone who is way hotter. Give a warm hand for dear Captain Ove. Ovemeister, Ovenator. Ja, det gäller att hålla honom på gott humör, hörni. Mr. Ove is now taking a turn into Birger Jarlsgatan. And Birger Jarl, he was the founder of Stockholm in 1252. Today, this is a fashionable high street. Here we can find all the nice branches, such as Tiffany's, Chanel, Prada, Mulberry, Blueberry, Blueberry, Strawberry, Cranberry, Dinkleberry. I know nothing about berries, and I know nothing about fashion. But what I do know is that we set the course to the nightclub mecca of Scandinavia called Stureplan. And then it's a Swedish law to perform this artist to you. Who is this, guys? Who is this? Avicii, that's right. Yes. We are going to talk more about Avicii later on the tour. You know, here in Stureplan you can find some of the most famous restaurants. This one here is called Sturehof. So this is an institution open 365 days per year. In the 1920s, two guys met in there during a crayfish party. En kräftskiva då alltså. And they decided after a couple of schnapps that, hey, we should build a car together. And that car became Volvo. And that is why Volvo treats their employees with crayfishes every year in August inside that building. Here we can find something a bit strange. A massive mushroom made out of concrete. We used to call this the mushroom. Took us years to come up with that name. Sen har alltså svampen, den är döpt inte efter sjukdomarna som går på Stureplan, utan för att se ut som en svamp. Ja, man blir lite förvånad. Hörni, jag kommer inte från Stockholm, det hör ni kanske. Ja, jag flyttade hit för 2 år sedan och när jag kom hit fick jag lära mig massa nya saker. Som att använda möbler och bestick. Men också så ord som de använder här som de inte använder där jag kommer ifrån. Som så, mäklarbricka, vaskning, traskning, du är inte välkommen. Och det där är inte ett ostron, det är tvålen från en urinoir och massa konstiga uttryck. Och jag hinner inte gå igenom allt jag har lärt mig för er, det går ju liksom inte. Men vi kan ta det viktigaste. Är det någon här som kan skillnaden mellan en brat och en stekare? Nej, då ska jag berätta det. En stekare, han betalar för sig själv. Men en brat, han låter fortfarande pappa betala. Och vem betalar i dina biljetter? Nej, då är du en brat. Kapten betalar alltid för mig också, så det är helt okej. Here we have it, Humlegården. This is the second oldest park of Stockholm. Humle translates into hops. And hops, that is one of the main ingredients in beer, that's right, everyone's favorite drink. Did you know that hops actually counts as a berry? So that would make beer a smoothie. That's the kind of smoothie our captain drank for breakfast this morning. Makes you feel safe. Så Humlegården har fått sitt namn av att man brukar odla humla här som man har i sin tur när man brygger öl. Och det har man, och det har vi bryggt i det avlånga landet sedan 1200-talet. Och det är längre än att Stockholm har funnits som stad. Lite coolt så. Down the street you can find a tower with a green clock on it. That is the Olympic Stadium. Stockholm hosted the Olympics in 1912, so that is the oldest still used Olympic stadium in the whole world. And we are now at Karlavägen in the area of Östermalm. Öster means east, so we are in the east part of the city. Up until the end of the 1800s, this was Stockholm's slum area. It has now transformed into one of the most exclusive residential areas in the whole country. Most buildings around us were built in the beginning of the 1900s. It was already then planned to be a posher neighborhood. And you can see that on the architecture because the ceilings are higher and the windows are generally bigger here than they are in the rest of the city. Så välkomna till Karlavägen, Östermalms lilla paradgata. En av 4 gator som är besmyckad med en sån här vacker träallé som vi ser här i mitten. Fram till slutet av 1800-talet så var detta Stockholms slumområde, Ladugårdsgärdet som det hette. Men nu är det lite annat ljud i själan. Vi ser den här grusgången. Den kallas i folkmun för Snobbrännan. Och det är för att det bara är det vackra folket i Stockholm som får gå här. Och det kan man ju se. Åh, vad vackra de är. Men jag och kapten, vi får hålla oss på den här sidan av vägen. What kind of people are living here, you might be wondering? Well, I can tell you that the typical Östermalm resident is a quite vain character with frequent trips to the Tössebågeriet and with a dog. Driving a sports car, ooh, that is fancy schmancy. But to park legal here, that is not that necessary. Because here, more parking tickets are issued more than anywhere else in the whole country. True story. This brown building is where Avicii went to high school, Östra Real. And, well, Avicii, he was a brilliant man who left this world way too soon. He was only 28 years old when he died in 2018. But music still lives on. His song Wakes Me Up, it has over 1 billion hits on Spotify. And Spotify, that's a Swedish invention. They have their headquarters about 100 meters from where we started the tour. Så vi i Sverige kan vara väldigt stolta över all musik vi har gett till världen. Med artister som Avicii och ABBA, men framförallt Eddie Meduza. Ja, tack, tack. Det är alltid någon, det glädjer mig varje gång alltså. Here we have a Karlaplan. This is one of the biggest roundabouts of Stockholm. You see the fountain in the middle? We need to turn it off in the beginning of June. Why so, Hampus? Why so? Well, it's graduation time in Stockholm. And if we don't turn the fountain off, our dear students will use it as a private swimming pool. Big issue. Så filmar inte vi Karlaplansfontänen så kommer våra kära studenter ligga här och ha poolparty. Och jag är inte ens inbjuden på den. Helt otroligt. This brown building to your port side is where Ingmar Bergman used to live. And Ingmar Bergman was one of the greatest in modern culture. He won 3 Academy Oscars and he's mostly known for his movie Fanny and Alexander from 1984. Men det kallas då inte för Bergmanhuset, det kallas för Strindberghuset. För det var han som under den tiden av sitt liv i huset som stod där innan det bruna. Stockholm ranks in the very top when it comes to number of museums. We have over 100 different of them. And this museum here to the starboard side, this is the Museum of History. Free entrance, yeah. And they also have a very nice Viking expedition that you guys can look into. But if you really want to see a Viking, you can just look at the captain. Yeah, it pains me to tell you that half my salary, all my salary. Men vi behöver ju komma igång här lite känner jag. Och jag hittade en sån kanonlåt häromdagen. Det är då E-Type som tolkar Mikael Wiehe, det är himla bra. Durch i denna.
Jag förstod inte riktigt orsaken till att fartyget sprungit läck. Man hade sagt oss att just detta var världens modernaste osänkbara skepp. Det är lite dåtidens Avicii kan man säga. Come on everybody allihopa, raise your hands. It's Saturday, the perfect day to party. If you want to advance, you can use both of your hands. Then you can spell your name with your butt, like this. That's the perfect way to dance here in Stockholm. We're having fun, but we're also learning. We have a new site here at our starboard side. This is the Djurgårds Bridge. This is the bridge connecting the island Djurgården to Östermalm. And you might see 2 statues on each side of that bridge guarding it. And those are Viking gods. Thor, Frigg, Heimdall and Freya. Do you see that statue that's holding a horn? That is the guardian Heimdall, ready to blow the horn as soon as a virgin crosses the bridge. Whew. Hasn't happened once since 1897 when the bridge was finished. Except for one time when I was passing it.
Der Brücke steht ein Wikinger als Skulptur mit Horn. Die Legende ist, dass der in das Horn reinbläst, wenn eine Jungfrau über die Brücke geht. Er hat noch nie in sein Horn geblasen.
This pink building is where Avicii grew up when he was a child, in one of the apartments here. And we have an enemy ship coming here. You need to yell now. Yes, how they envy us. Behind you, this is off timing, but behind you can find a grey building that is Berwaldhallen, a concert hall named after the Swedish composer Franz Berwald. And 2/3 of that building are located inside of the mountain to get better acoustics. Here we are at the diplomatic city. Here lies most of the embassies of Stockholm. And only 2 of the houses here are not owned by Swedish or foreign states. And one of them is this
brown villa with white windows. That was in 2001, the most expensive private house in Swedish history. It went for 7 million euros. In that time it was a lot of money, but then again we are in Sweden. Ja, här har vi då alltså diplomatstaden. Väldigt vackert, fina byggnader. This orange building is the other one that is also privately owned. And as you can see, very beautiful architecture, great statues, nice gardens. Soon we are going to see the biggest embassy of them all. Can you guess which? Yes, the American embassy. Big, but not beautiful. No, the Americans, they didn't care much about that. In fact, they built an exact copy of that in Copenhagen. Probably got one of those 2-for-1 offers. Och det var också här i diplomatstaden som framlidne Bo Holmström yttrade orden lägg ut! Är det någon som kommer ihåg det kanske? Ja, ockupation av västtyska ambassaden 1975. Du vet, jag minns det som det var igår. About 40% of Stockholm are parks and green areas. This green area here is called Gärdet, which translates into field. Back in the days, our soldiers used to practice for war here. And today we only see Östermalm residents power walking here in their tights. Time changes. This is the captain's favorite song. He cries every time. I'm the king of the world. Captain, hold me. I can be Rose, and you can be the iceberg. Which movie, guys? Titanic, yeah. Don't think about the ending too much now. Now it's time to make this bus into a boat. Before we do that, I need to go through some security with you, so listen carefully. First off, no seat belts in the water. You're not allowed to have them in there, so please take them off. We don't want you to get stuck if anything happens, so take your seatbelts off. Above you, you can find life jackets. I will let you guys know if you need them, but you probably will notice. In the middle of the bus here, we have one emergency exit. We also have one up here in the roof. And then we have another one up here in the roof as well. Then we have one here in the front, but that is just for me, the captain, and those who paid extra. I'm kidding. It's just for me. As the captain is showing, hold tight to your kids, your mobile phones, whatever you think is the most important. Also, hold tight to the rail or the seat in front of you, because we are going to get pushed forward as we are hitting the water. So take a nice and steady grip here. And, svenskar, inga säkerhetsbälten på bussen. Vi vill inte att ni ska fastna om något skulle hända. Ovanför er så finns flytvästar. I mitten av bussen finns det en nödutgång, 2 i taket och en fram hos mig och kapten som är till för alla. Sen kan ni hålla i sätet framför er eller i relingen, för vi kommer skjutas framåt i samband med att vi hamnar i vattnet. Håll hårt till era barn och mobiltelefoner. Vi har redan några som är begravda här nedanför rampen. Mobiler alltså. Herregud. Captain, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a bit nervous. This is his first day on the job. Yeah. Are you guys ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go! A warm hand to Mr. Ovenator.
Wow.
Det är därför jag skjuter ut den med båthåll. Nej. Ja, jag hade det. Shit. Vi har inte så mycket slagsida. Det känns helt... Ja. Jag kollar till på spelarna då.
guys are fine here? Yeah, you guys fine here as well? Perfect. Alice in ordning? You know? Everybody fine? Very good, you fine here?
Viertel gibt es nur 2 Häuser, die privat sind. Alle anderen gehören Botschaften oder in anderen Staaten. Und das erste Haus, was er gezeigt hat, ist das teuerste Privathaus hier. Das wurde vor 20 Jahren Millionen Euro verkauft. Aber sicherlich auch in der besonderen Lage.
Oh well, put him in the bed with a captain's daughter. Put him in the bed with a captain's daughter. Oh, put him in the bed with a captain's daughter. Early in the morning.
Das haben wir letztes auch gesehen.
Könnte ich den roten Hut ganz gut gebrauchen.
Die Sonne, ja.
Gegen die Sonne.
That's what I do with a drunken sailor. That's what I do with a drunken sailor. That's what I do with a drunken sailor. Hey ho!
Welcome to the sea. Now the tax-free is open. Did you heard which yes? You heard which song we played? Drunken Sailor. It's a tribute to the captain. Välkomna till havet. Passar mig rätt bra för jag har ju vågor i håret och vatten i knäna. Högt hårfäste och låg moral. Ja, now we are sitting in a boat and I'm gonna explain to you how that happened. From the beginning, this is a completely normal Volvo truck that we bought brand new here in Sweden. We then shipped this truck to the States where there's a man that is named John and he knows everything about amphibious vehicles. So John, he took the Volvo chassis away, took the parts that he needed, then he put it all together again in this white thing surrounding us, made out of aluminum. So this is homemade. Don't mind the duct tape, it should be there.
Captain maneuvers ocean bus with a joystick that is connected to a rudder in the end of the bus. And there's also a propeller that pushes us forward. So when we are back on land, you can go behind the bus and see both the rudder and the propeller very clearly. Så detta var en helt vanlig Volvo-lastbil. Vi köpte en ny här i Sverige. Den skeppade vi över till USA, för där bor en högst udda man som heter John. Och han kan allting om amfibiefordon. Han brukar göra så husbilar som går på vatten och grejer. Så det är någon som sitter och är lite sugen på en sån husbil. Vet ni vem vi ska prata med? Ja, men han tog delarna han behövde från den här lilla lastbilen. Och sen satte han ihop det i det här vita skrovet då. Och det är gjort till aluminium, så det kan flyta. A very common question that me and the captain used to get is what happens to the wheels as we are hitting the water? What do you believe? What do you think?
Falling apart.
Falling apart. Yeah, it's not a bad guess. But the real answer is nothing. Nothing happens. Yes. This is actually as far from a James Bond car that we can come. And this is as far from James Bond as we can come. This is more like Johnny English. Men vi har de renaste hjulen i hela Stockholm. Det ska du veta. Here to your starboard, port side, we can find a blue gate. This blue gate is a reminder of where we are. We are at Djurgården, which translates into animal garden. And that is because this used to be the king's hunting area. So this blue gate is a reminder of this, that this used to be gated. Here in Djurgården we can find many of the museums that we talked about earlier. One of them is the Nordic Museum that you can find behind the trees here. This Gothic building. When our king turned 70, he partied for 3 days straight inside that building. Han skulle bli Sveriges kung idag. Det är min dröm att festa med Chris O'Neill i 3 dagar på Nordiska museet. Ja, ändå en bucket list grej. We can also find the Straßen museum, and that is the world's first open-air museum. And every year since 1979, a TV show has been broadcasted from there called Allsång på Skansen. What is this? My foreign guest might be wondering. It's a sing-along TV show, sort of like karaoke. Every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, we Swedes, we sit at home and singing with our TV. Nothing strange about that. Nothing strange about that. But I'm gonna give you a taste of this phenomenon by playing the intro song to this show. It's called Stockholm in my heart. And to my foreign guest, me and the captain really needs to apologize because now the Swedish passengers have to sing. Jag kan bara refrängen, så att om ni tar början här så kommer jag in sen. Det är bra.
Solljuset stiger ur havet, spelar i kopp och glas. Stockholm i gryningen strålar, som barn kunde vara. Med blommor från Östersjöns med en kärlek från lekarnas hav.
Everybody raise your hands in the air and follow me. Stockholm i mitt hjärta, låt mig besjunga dig nu. Solo! Öarnas stad blir du. Av städer jag känner i världen, är du den stad som var genom mödarens kärlek till havet. En blandning av sött och sand. Wow. Now I'm gonna translate for you. He sang Stockholm in my heart, of all the cities I know, you are the one that has it all. Cities of islands, that is you. Wow. If you give yourself a high five, do that fast and many times, see what happens. Thank you. Oh, what a surprise.
There's no music beside heavy metal.
It's no music besides heavy metal, yeah, it's true. Actually, the captain thinks my singing voice is a catastrophe. Every time he hears me sing, he hits me and I say, aye, captain. Very funny.
Speaking of catastrophe, you see this red building with the 3 red mastheads. What building is that? The Vasa Museum, that's right. That is the most known tourist attraction in Sweden, after Ocean Bus, of course. Inside of there we can find the wreck of the old regal ship Vasa. And the mast in the middle of the building actually had the same height as the original Vasa ship. 52 meters. So now you can imagine how big she was, and that's exactly why she sank. She was too high, too big, and too narrow.
Too high, too big, too narrow.
Just like the boat you're in right
52
now.
Meter hoch ist der Mittelmast, so soll das sein.
So the year was 1628. She was on her maiden voyage, on her way to Poland for a war. She made it just around the bend of the amusement park before she sank on the maiden voyage. Sweden's first submarine. She remained at the bottom of the ocean for 333 years until Anders Franzén was able to pick her up in 1961. So we today can take a good look at the only existing ship from the 1600s. There's no other in the whole world. Faktum är att man lät göra stabilitetstest på Vasa innan man lät henne ut och åka båt. Då lät man 30 man springa på översta däck så, fram och tillbaka. För att se hur hon uppförde sig i vattnet. Man var tvungen att avbryta det här testet efter ynka 10 gånger, för redan då höll hon på att kantra. Och amiralen, Claes Fleming, han sa ju det att det här är ingen bra idé. Men Gustav II Adolf, han insisterade, och sen vet vi alla vad som hände. Men när Gustav såg detta hända vid kajen, då blev han blev så ledsen så han gick till närmsta krog, Gyllene Freden, en av de äldsta krogarna som finns i Stockholm. Och där satt han hela kvällen, gjorde precis som Vasaskeppet. Och hur sjönk Vasa? Botten upp. To your port side you can find a fortress with a Swedish flag on top. Red fortress, Swedish flag. Do you see it? Red fortress, Swedish flag. The important thing is not the fortress really, but the flag. Do you know what it symbolizes? Well, it symbolizes that Sweden has not been invaded by a foreign country. We call that the peace flag, and that has been flying up there for every morning for 300 years. Every morning, except for one morning. 17th of May, 1996, when we saw the Norwegian flag up there. Have we been invaded by Norway also? I repeat, Norway? No way, Norway. It turned out just a couple of drunk Norwegian students that sneaked up there and took our flag down and raised their own. Just have a little bit of a prank with her neighbor on their National Day, 17th of May. Good prank though, I really have to say. Do we have any Norwegian guys here today? I hate you. Actually, I don't. Sweden and Norway actually love each other. Like a sibling relationship, like me and the captain. But don't get me started with the Danish people. Kidding. You have this yellow building here. Junibacken, do you know who lives in there? I can give you a hint. It's the world's strongest girl. Who is that? Pippi Longstocking, yes! And inside Junibacken you can meet Pippi and all other of Astrid Lindgren's characters. Here in Sweden, we love Pippi and we love Astrid so much that we put them both on our 20 crown notes. And I don't think there's one Swede here on board who hasn't read or been read to them one of Astrid's stories. And that is not a coincidence, because Astrid Lindgren, she sold 150 million books worldwide. She was translated into 100 different languages. So she counts as the 20th most translated author through the history, world to date. She's even more translated than Ernst Hemingway, Oscar Wilde and Karl Marx for example. Och den här idén då kommer från en man som heter Staffan Götestam. Är det någon som vet vem det är? Nej, det är han som spelar Jonathan i filmen Bröderna Lejonhjärta. Och han sa så här till Astrid att du borde starta en attraktion. Astrid Lindgren var lite blyg av sig. Hon sa det att nej, då vill jag nog att andra barnboksförfattare också ska vara med. Och så blev det också. Så att här kan vi träffa Mumintrollen och Loranga Maskin och D'Artagnan och Petson och Findus, Alfons Åberg och lite annat. Och sen kan man åka Sagotåget, och det är det sista Astrid Lindgren gjorde och spelade in innan hon dog 2002, 94 år gammal. So Astrid Lindgren, she passed away from us here in Stockholm in 2002, 94 years old. Her funeral was like a state funeral. The royal family was there, the prime minister were there, you were there, I were there, the captain was not. But you will, for many generations to come, have a very special place in all of Sweden's heart, I hope.
Här kommer Pippi Långstrump, tjolahopp, tjolahej, tjolahoppsan dag. Här kommer Pippi Långstrump, här kommer faktiskt jag. Har du sett min apa, med fina söta lilla apa? Har du sett han Nilsson, ja för han heter faktiskt så. Har du sett min villa, min lilla villa? Vill du veta varför villan heter så? Så där bor ju Pippi Långstrump, tjolahopp, tjolahej, tjolahoppsan dag. Där bor ju Pippi Långstrump, ja där bor faktiskt jag. Det är inte illa, jag har ju apa, häst och villa. Katten full med pengar, det är det också bra att ha. Kom nu alla vänner, vända kotte som jag känner. Nu ska bli varm och varm, tjolahej, tjolahoppsan dag.
Das ist wieder diese Jungfernbrücke. So dieser Hafenstreif ist leer.
Ja, nu behöver vi inte lyssna på barn som skrålar längre. Here we have the Royal Motorboat Club. It's over 100 years old. And if you would like a place for your boat here, you can stand in line. The queue is over, hold on now, 20 years. That's why we have wheels on this boat. It's much more practical. Faktiskt var det att 1 av 10 svenskar äger en båt, men i Stockholm är det 1 av 7 som gör det. Så det är det som är så trångt med båtarna då i hela Stockholm. Behind the Royal Motorboat Club we can find a Nobel Park. And from the beginning that was a science project. Inside of there we thought that we could plant all the trees that naturally grows in Sweden. And all of the trees are in there, all but one. And if someone can tell me which tree is missing, I'm gonna perform the chicken dance to you. So do you have a guess? Det är bara att ropa ut om ni har gissningar nu, vilket träd som fattas. Ja. Du ska yell it out.
It's the thing is...
Tall finns. Ja, men bra gissning då.
Vad är det för art?
Det börjar på fjäll och slutar på björk. Vad kan det vara? Ja, det stämmer. Fjällbjörken. En applåd till mannen längst bak. Bra jobbat, fjällbjörken var det. The mountain birch is a tree that's missing. The mountain birch. So now I'm gonna perform the chicken dance as promised. This is my favorite part of the show. But I want you guys to dance along with me. And please be respectful. This is Sweden's national anthem. Give me your hand, sir.
job, Mike. Very natural dancer, Mike. Good job. That was Sweden's national anthem. Okay, enough. The park is of course named after the Stockholm-born man Alfred Nobel, who is the inventor of
Dynamite.
dynamite. Yes, Mike. I'm not doing the chicken dance again though, Mike. TNT, that's right. And many other things. And by Alfred's death at 1896, he left 355 patents and a big chunk of money. And he said that this money should be endowed to the greatest of mankind. And by that he meant men and women who has done extremely well in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, work in peace, most handsome guide. And today the Nobel Prize has been honoring people from all around the globe since 1901. Yes, and here we have the diplomatic city once again. And well, it's not much to say really. Most of the embassies are here, as I mentioned earlier. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, US, UK. But now you're probably wondering, oh, Hampus, where is the Norwegian embassy? The Norwegian guy is in the middle, and they're like, oh, Hampus, show us the Norwegian embassy? Of course I will. Take a look up here, up the hill. Up the hill. Very Norwegian, yeah, some stuff. Very Norwegian. They wanted it up there so they could ski down the hill. Even though it's summer. Okay, no, this is not the Norwegian embassy. I can't help myself but like to. This house, it belongs to Skansen, the open air museum. This is their oldest house and it comes from Norway originally. Från Telemark kommer den. Lofteboda, vad kallar man det? Stabbur var det. Man hade mat i den, hörde jag. Ja, men precis. But did you know that when a Norwegian guy moves to Denmark, the average IQ level raises in both countries?
Das Haus kommt ursprünglich aus Norwegen und ist das älteste hier.
Now, as you can see, the captain is aiming towards the ramp that will get us off from the water. Hopefully. This is a very tricky part of the tour, because the captain really needs the right amount of speed and timing. But luckily for you, we have a very impotent captain. We have a very competent captain. Very. But just to be on the safe side, if everybody raises 2 fingers like this. Don't be shy, 2 fingers. Cross them, cross your fingers that we're getting back on land. You never know. Ja, det är så här va, kapten, han är nyligen singel, Ove. Han brukar gå på Tinder-dejter numera. Oj. Och när han går på Tinder-dejter så kallar tjejerna honom för Ocean Bus. För de går på grund av han. Jag brukar få lite mer skratt på den, så vi tar den igen. Går på grund av han. Tack. I have the perfect song for this very perfect occasion. This will get Captain Ovenator in the right mood. That was no problem for Ovenator. Give him a warm hand. Yes. Now I want to share a little secret with you. So this is a very important secret. So lean yourself ahead here. Come. You know, in Stockholm, it's always ABBA o'clock. Finally, when is the ABBA music coming, you're thinking? Now it's the time.
Here we have it to your starboard side. This is the real Norwegian embassy, the real one this time. No pranky. But Norwegian guys in the middle, don't you agree with me that the other one was much more beautiful?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Many people ask me, oh Hampus, what is your favorite ABBA song? My favorite ABBA song is Mamma Mia, because my mother's name is Mia. Pretty cute, right? Yeah. But the fun thing is that that is the captain's favorite ABBA song as well, for the same reason. He really likes my mother.
Viertelstunde.
Here we are at Strandvägen, the road by the shore, or beach directly translated. This is a very expensive street to live on. If you would like to buy an apartment here, I would reckon 25,000 euros per square meter. Or as they call it in Norway, a pizza. Many famous Swedes has lived there. One of them, of an example, this guy. This song is actually about me. He's got the look. Do you know the guy singing? Yep, I guess that's right. He used to live down the street here. And he started the band Roxette together with Marie Fredriksson. Together they sold millions and millions of albums worldwide. They had no less than 4 #1 singles on the US Billboard list. And that is Scandinavia's record world to date. Not even ABBA had that many. ABBA just had 2 #1 singles on the US Billboard list. Och historien om hur Roxette blev känt är lite kul, för då var en amerikansk utbytesstudent här i Sverige. Och när han åkte tillbaka till USA så tog han en kassett med Roxette hem med sig, och den skickade han över till en radiostation, och resten är ju då, som man brukar säga, historia. Have you heard of a guy named Björn Borg? Yeah, more famous as the Iceborg, because he never showed any emotions. He used to live at number 9 here. His battles with Joe McEnroe still echoes in the world of tennis. He won 11 Grand Slam titles and the most impressive 5 straight Wimbledon championships. Men idag är Björn Borg, han är lite mer känd för sina här kalsonger idag. Och jag önskar att jag kunde visa er dem. Men där har min chef faktiskt satt ner foten. Och jag hänger väldigt löst i det här företaget. Ni ser inte förvånade ut. Nej. Ingrid Bergman used to live at #1 over here as a child. And Ingrid Bergman, she's mostly known for her role as Ilsa Lund in the movie Casablanca from 1942, in which she was received an Oscar for. The latest Swede to receive an Oscar was Ludwig Göransson for Best Original Music in the movie Black Panther from 2019. Ja, har vi teatern igen då, hörni. Känner ni igen er själva? Ja, eller som man säger på engelska. Do you feel again yourself? No? Here we have the theater again. You recognize yourself? Yeah. So in the corner of the theater coming up, the other corner here, we can see a statue of a woman standing by herself. That is Margareta Krook, a very famous actress from the Royal Dramatic Theatre. And you can pass the statue later and feel her belly. It's warm, and not because of the sun or anything. No, it's warm because they want to reflect her warm personality. So they heat her up on the inside. Very beautiful and scary. Have you heard of a term named Stockholms Syndrome? Yeah, it was actually right here on Acne Studios that the credit bank was located in 1973. So a bank robber went inside that building and took the bank staff as hostages. So the world's eyes was focused on this area for 6 days until the drama could come to an end. And when the police had released the hostages, they weren't as happy as you would expect because they had become friends with the bank robbers. So this gave birth to the psychological term Stockholm Syndrome, which means that you start to sympathize with the people who's doing you harm. They even say that one of the women fell in love with the bank robber. But that is known as the bad boy syndrome. Just like my ex-girlfriend had. As you can imagine. Here is the King's Garden, Kungsträdgården. This also used to belong to the king, where he grew fruits and trained horses and stuff. But today we mostly use this area for events and festivals. Like for an example, it was the first idea to put Eurovision Song Contest here the next year. A warm applause to that. Eurovision, victory! Yes! Och till Finland vill vi bara hälsa. Tja, tja, tja. Vi ses nästa år. Kul att ni försöker. You know how many times Sweden has won Eurovision? 7 times. Alongside with Ireland, we hold a record for most time winning. But we will beat them. And that is not a threat. That is a promise. Talking like a dictator. You know, Norway also have a record in Eurovision Song Contest. They have gone in the last place most times as any other country. So they have that going for them. That and oil and money, which we have lack of. But the first time Sweden won, that was in 1974 in UK Brighton with... Yes. Everybody, allihopa! Snett bakom er kan ni se Grand Hotel. Det är det första hotellet i Europa som bytte lakan mellan sina besökare. Och det gjorde de redan på 70-talet. 1870-talet. This is my fan base. Hey! Yes, yeah, you see, they love me. Every day they're waiting for me here.
This is the Royal Palace of Stockholm, one of the greatest in Europe. It has 42,000 square meters divided into 11 floors and 608 rooms. Do you know what this meant when this was finished? Oh yes, one more room than the Buckingham Palace. Coincidence, of course. But our king, he doesn't live here anymore. He moved to a place called Drottningholm in the 80s, about 40 minutes away from where we are now. I think he thought it was too small for him. The name of this vehicle is Estelle. Our crown princess name is Victoria. She's now an adult and has children of her own. Her oldest child is named Estelle after this ocean bus. Incredible. This is the Swedish Parliament with 349 seats. It's outside of here that Rita Thunberg started her strike for the environment in 2018. If you want to see our current Prime Minister, it can be a bit difficult because he is, as we call it in Sweden, två äpplen hög. Sweden have elections every 4th year. So now, our most recent election was last year. So now everything is back to shit again. You know what, guys? Every fairy tale has an end. And every fairy tale has a Prince Charming. That's me. Thank you. I really enjoyed the tour, guys. I hope you did as well. If you really like the tour, you can please leave a tip in this captain's hat, which I will lay here in the front. We love all currencies and values. If you'd like to give us something, that would be very, very grateful. I'm going to Berlin next week. And but if you don't have money, you can also rate us on TripAdvisor, Get Your Guide, or Facebook. Then my name is Hampus, and the captain's name was Ove. If you didn't like the tour and still want to rate us, then my name is Prince Charming, and the captain's name is Shrek. Thank you for joining me, Shrek. Boy.